Hey guys, welcome to Homework Help for Year 6, Term 1, Week 2. On page 6, it says find the average mark of all of that. So it has a table. So what we can understand from this is that the table says there are 9 students with the mark of 3. So that means imagine you got someone with 3, another person with a 3, 3, 3. So each of these marks, these 3 marks, it belongs to a particular person, like one person. So for example, this could be Bob, this could be Jess, this could be Henry, whatever. So each person only has one test score mark. Now this one, there's 2 people with a mark of 4, so that means you got 4 and 4. Next one, you got a 5 and you got 6, so you just write it all out like this. This way, if you write it out, you understand that each of these marks is also a particular student. So it says find the average mark, meaning we have to find the average of all of these marks together. So how do you find the average? Simply, we just add all the marks together. So to find the average, you just have to add, you have to find the total marks, and divide it by, because we put into a fraction means divide, divided by how many marks there are. So how many marks? How many marks are there? Well, I'll just count it with the blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So therefore, you divide it by 25. And if you want to find a total, just add all these marks together. Right? You can just go 3 plus 3 plus 3 and so on. Now the faster way would be, you can see here that there are how many lots of 3s? There are 6 lots of 3s. And here you got 2 lots of 4, 1 lots of 5, 6 lots of 6, and 7 lots of 7. If we multiply all of them together, we're going to get how much? You got 18, you got 8, you're going to get 5, 36, and 49. And you add them together, you're going to get, what is this? 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 5 is 21. 21 plus 6, 27. 27 plus 9 is 36. This would be a 4. This would be a 7. 4 plus 7 is 11. So 116. Wait, doesn't seem right. Hold on. Let me just do it again. Hold on. 6 times 3, yeah. Oh, sorry, that's 9. Whoops, this is 9. Not 6. My bad. 9 times 3. So 9 times 3 will give you 27. And the rest is correct. So 7 plus 8 is 15. 15 plus 5 is 20. 20 plus 6 is 26, and then 35, so that'll be a 3 here. This will be a 5. 5 plus 7 is 12, and this has to be a 5. So therefore, the average mark is 125 divided by 25, which gives you exactly 5, and that's the answer there. Okay. Next one says 5 times the square root of 36. So we have to do 5 times the square root of 36. So this is increase means plus, by the quotient of this. So the quotient of 24, quotient means divided by 3. So you work that out. This is BODMAS. So you do 5, this is 5 times 6, plus with 24 divided by 3 is 8. And then again, we got to do BODMAS again. So times first, that's 30. 30 plus 8, and the answer is 38. Next one is the difference between 39 and 11. So you have 39, and you have 11, and then, so when you see the word and, like they put the numbers and another number, you put in brackets. This says the sum of 2 squared and 3. So that means 2 squared and 3, like this. And now the first one says the difference. Difference means minus. This one says the sum, so it means plus. And it says divide in the middle, so we put divide in the middle. So this will be 28 divided by 4 plus 3. We're going to do brackets first, which means this is a 7. 28 divided by 7. You can get the answer there. Next page. Alright, to do this question, this is a mixture of decimals and fractions. So to do this, the easiest way to do it is to change everything into fractions. So we're going to use fractions. Alright, so let's go for this one. This will be 4 over 10 plus 2.5 minus 9 over 10 times 1 over 3. So let's do our bottom mass. We got to do times first. So this one you're going to get, what can you do when you multiply? You can simplify. So the 9 to 3, we can cross it out and say we can divide them both by 3. And this will be a 1 and this will be a 3. So now this turns into 3 times 1, which is 3, and 10 times 1, which is 10. So 3 and 10. Now let's put everything else back in. You got 4 over 10 plus 2.5 minus that. All right, so because we got plus and minus, they're the same level of importance. We have to do left to right to do this first. So let's do that. You got 4. I'm going to write over here. So 4 on 10 plus. Oh, actually 4 on 10 can be simplified. I forgot. 4 on 10. We just simplify that. It comes 2 over 5. So we got 2 over 5 plus. Now 2.5 can be written as improper fraction. So that comes 5 over 2 and then minus 3 on 10. So, let's just focus on this first. Do the left first. Okay. So now we want to make the bottom number the same. So we're going to get 10 and 10. Now to make 10, I must multiply the first one by 2 and the top also by 2. And the next one, number 2, to get 10, I must multiply by 5 and times it by 5. Okay, so the first one becomes 4 over 10 plus 25 over 10, which gives you 29 over 10. All right, now you have, so this turns into 29 over 10. So it looks something like this. You got 29 over 10, and then you get the minus to the 3 on 10. And because they already have the same denominator, we just minus it. We get 26 over 10. And we can simplify that. We can get divide top and bottom by 2. So divided by 2, we can simplify it. And we're going to get 13 over 5. Now 13 over 5 can be written as a mixed numeral. We have to put our fraction in mixed numeral because 13 over 5 is improper fraction. And we, as a general rule, we don't leave it like this. So change to mixed numeral becomes, how many 5s in 13? You got 2. Remainder 3 over 5, and there's your answer. Cool. So next one, the same thing. First, we change all into fraction. This one's already a fraction, which is 5 over 8. Now change this one to fraction. This is 3.2. 3.2 is 3 is a whole number. 0.2 is, actually, let me just rewrite this. So 3.2 is made up of the number 3 and the number 0.2. 3 is just 3. 0.2 can be written as 1/5. Now, if you're not sure why it's 1/5, imagine you got 2 over 10. Okay, 0.2. So 2 divided by 10 is equal to 0.2. When you do divide, you can write 2 on 10. Okay, that's another way to think about it. And then when you simplify 2 on 10, you can get 1 on 5. So really, 0.2 is 1/5. So I'm going to write all of that, change it to 1/5. Okay, so that means 3 and 1/5 minus 1 on 12 divided by 1.5 just means 1.5. Like that. 1.5, that's the same thing. All right, now we do bottom mass. So we got to do the multiply first, and then we do the divide. They have to be done first before we do subtraction. So let's do multiply. You got 5 on 8. You can't multiply in this manner, so you have to change the 3 and 1/5 into an improper fraction, which means we times it by, let's see, 16 over 5. let's work, and let's do this one separately as well. This is 1 on 12 divided by, change it in improper fraction because we can't divide like that, so this would be 3 on 2. I'm going to do these separately. So this one, all of this stuff here, it becomes, now what can we do with this? We can simplify. We can look at the top and bottom because we're multiplying, right? We can look at top and bottom. We can say, hey, there's a 5 there, there's a 5 there. We divide them both by 5 and you will get a 1 and a 1. Look at 8 and 16. I can divide them both by 8. So I can divide them both by 8. So that 8 gets crossed out, gets a 1. 16 divided by 8, you can get 2. So now you have 1 over 1 times 2 over 1, which equals to 2 over 1, which equals to 2. Because 2 over 1 is a whole number, so that transforms into a 2. So this one, the answer is 2. Now, let's look at the side on the right-hand side here. So this side here, you got 112. Now we can't, when we divide, we have to flip the second number, which becomes 2 on 3, and we change it from divide to a times. Now what can I simplify? Well, I can simplify the 2 and 12. We can divide them both by 2. We get 1 divided by 2, we get 6. Oops, you can see a 6 there. And then we can't simplify any further. Do not try and simplify the 6 and the 3. They're bottom, you can't do that. Has to be one from the top, one from the bottom. Okay, so now you have 1 times 1, which is 1. 6 times 3, which is 18. So now all of that turns into 1 on 18. So 1 over 18. Now we've done, so all of this becomes 2. All of this becomes 1 on 18. And you have a minus symbol in between them. So you have 2 take away 1 on 18, which becomes 1 and 17 over 18. Now, if you're wondering how I got that, imagine you got 2 pizzas, right? It's a pizza. Let's do a better pizza than that. Actually, you know what? Let's do bigger, more perfect circles. Just imagine they're the same size. Obviously, I didn't draw the same size. Maybe I can make it smaller. Hold on. Oh, no, it doesn't work. Okay, let's just try again. There we go, roughly the same size. All right, imagine you had 2 pizzas, so 2 here, and you lost 1 over 18. So imagine the second pizza, we cut into 18 pieces. I'm not gonna draw 18 pieces, but you get the point if I just do this, right? It's not exactly 18 pieces. Just imagine that it is, because I can't be bothered drawing. And measuring each piece. I don't know how many pieces there are in there. Just okay, whatever. And then imagine that you lost 17. You lost one piece out of 18. So you got 2 pieces. One of the pizza got chopped into 18 pieces, and you lost 1 of them because you subtracted it. So therefore, this let's see, this piece here is gone. So how much you got left? So you have 1. And you have 17 on 18 left. So that's why the answer is 1 and 17 on 18. Okay. All right. Let's move on. So move on to the next question. I think I overlap all these questions here. All right. Next one says 1 divided by 5 times. All right. So what we do here, all you gotta do is look at the division and the times, and they actually cancel out. If you divide in times and divide are reverse of each other. So they cancel each other out. Just like minus and plus is reverse of each other, so they cancel out too. And you have divided by 5, divided by 6, times by 6, divided by 7, times by 7. So what do you have left? Well, you have divided by 7, and you have a 1 left. So that means you have 1 divided by 7, which means 1 over 7, and you're done. Just leave it like that. Next one is we have here 8 times 125 is to give you 1,000. 5 times 5 times 5 will give you 125. And obviously there's a multiply in the middle. So the answer becomes 1 over 125,000. The reason we can do this is because when everything is being multiplied together, you can multiply in any order you want. You can do that times that first, that times that. As long as you multiply everything else together, it's fine. So we can multiply in any order and we get the answer 125,000. Now this one is going to give you, you can work it out, it's going to give you 45 and times it by 1 over, you add all that up, that gives you 15. And because we're multiplying, we should make this into a fraction as well. This is a whole number. So let's make a fraction by putting it over 1. Now you can just simplify and get the answer. I'm not going to do that for you. Work it out. Question 9. All right, so you have a bunch of plus, a bunch of times. So let's just circle all the one that has times because we need to do those first according to BODMAS. And you may notice that every multiplication always has 1 over 90 in it, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to, because of quick method, remember quick method? If you have 2 times 3 plus 4 times 3, because they both have 3's in it, you can just say, I'm going to multiply 3 at the end and just say 2 plus 4. This is the same thing. This is a quick method. So what we're going to do is we're going to times it by 1 over 90 in the end, and we're going to add all of these other ones here. 1 half plus 1 on 3 plus 1 on 4 and plus 1 on 5. Now in order to add these, we should make it all into the same denominator. So let's do that now. All right. So to find the denominator, we should say, have a look at the 2, 3, 4, and 5 and say what's the lowest number that can be divided by all of these? Now we don't care about the 2 because anything that's divisible by 4 can already be divided by 2. So 2, we can ignore it. We don't need to worry about him. All right, so let's have a look at these 3. So to find the lowest common multiple, we just say, okay, let's look at 3 and 5. 3 times 5, lowest common multiple is 12. And then between 12 and 5, the lowest common multiple is 60. So therefore, the lowest number we should use is 60 for all of them, like this. All right. Now, in order to get 60 as the denominator, we have to times this one. 2 times what is 60? 2 times 30, which means I must multiply the top also by 30, and I'll get 30. 3 times what is 60? 3 times 20, so the top must be multiplied by 20. 4 times 15, so the top must also be 15. 5 times 12 gives you 60, so also times 12. Okay, so you get 12 there. And obviously everything in the middle must be plus. And then once you do that, you got to times it by 1 over 90 because of the quick method. Now let me get rid of this. All right, so what we have here, let's have a look. If we add all the top numbers together, you get 30 plus 20. So you got 30 plus 20 plus 15 plus 12. And all over 60 times it by 1 over 90. All right. So if you add them all together, you will get 77 over 60 times it by 1 over 90. Now, you might say to yourself, hey, we're multiplying, so we can simplify, right? Which is correct. And then you might think, oh, 60 and 90, we can divide them both by 3 or 6. Not 6, sorry. Yeah, 6, actually 6. 3, 6, or 9, or even 10. So we should simplify. But we can actually we cannot simplify because they're both at the bottom and bottom, we can't simplify. If it's bottom and top, we can, but bottom we can't simplify, so you just leave it. So all we can do is we can just multiply it across, and we get 77 over 6 times 9 is 54. You got 2 zeros, so we put the 2 zeros together and we're done. And there's your answer. Move on to the next page. Now this one says, I'm going to add all these together. So what we do is we look, because everything is add, right? We can add in any order because they're all adding. So we just have to add this one, maybe plus this one, that'll give you 1. We could probably add a third and 2/3, that gives you another 1. So this gives you 1. And this gives you another 1. And there's a 2 there. So 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 on 20. This becomes 3, 4. 4 plus 1 on 20. Obviously, the answer is going to be 4 and 1 on 20. Next one says, in which of these following quadrilaterals are the angles equal? Quadrilateral just means a four-sided shape. So any shape that has four sides, like a square, rectangle, trapezium, all of those are quadrilaterals. Now, it says which one of these following are all the angles equal? So, for example, a square. Does all the square have angle equal? Yes, they all have. Well, that's not a square. Hold on. A square. Let's see if I can draw it correctly. Yep, something like that. So we can do a square. No, they don't have squares. Okay, so all the squares have the angle 90. 90, 90, 90. Yes, this one does. How about trapezium? Trapezium looks something like this. Does all the angle equal? No, this is obtuse, these are acute. They're not even all equal. Parallelogram. Let's have a look. Parallelogram looks something like this. I obviously drew it horribly. Something like that. Alright, so obviously this is obtuse and this is acute. They're not even equal. Kite. Kite looks like... let me see if I can draw a kite. Alright. Kite looks something like this. Okay. Now these two angles, I think... yeah, these two angles are equal to each other. These two angles are not equal to each other. So not all of them are equal. So therefore the only one is a square that has all the angles equal. Alright, next one says if you express 54 as a decimal, you get what? So 54% as a decimal. 54% just means 54 over 100. That's what it means. Now all you gotta do is what happens? What's 54 over 100 mean? 54 over 100 means take 54 and divide it by 100. So what happens when you do that? Well, let's have a look at 54. There's a decimal there. Invisible decimal. Now, when you divide it by 100, decimal is going to jump 2 spaces back to the left. So it's going to be 0.54, which is C. Simplify. Okay, simplify. This is 3 lots of 6 to the power of 3. Now, 6 to the power of 3 just means 6 times 6 times 6. Okay, so 6 to the power of 3 means 6 times 6 times 6. And you got 3 lots of it. So 3 times 6 to the power of 3 over 3 times 6 to the power of 2. Alright, because we're multiplying top and bottom, we can simplify. We can divide this number by 3, divide this by 3. Boom, boom, gone. So now you're left with is 6 cubed over 6 squared. Okay, 6 cubed means 6 times 6 times 6, and 6 squared means 6 times 6. So what can we do? We can divide top and bottom by 6 twice. Right? We can divide by once, that's once. Divide by twice, that's twice. So what are you left with? You're left with 6 over, all of this becomes a 1. So you got 6 over 1, and that's just 6. So the answer is D. Next one says we bought a flour for $5.30, the sugar for $2.50, and the eggs for whatever, and the flavoring, chocolate, and so on for $3.80. We made 98 biscuits. We sold for 25 each. Okay, so they bought all of these ingredients for this amount of money. So what we do, we add them all up. So I'll just try add them up over here. You got 530, 250, 680. And 385. Alright, so the first one will be a 5. Next one will be, this will be 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 8 is 24. Okay, this will be a 7. This 7 plus 2 will be a 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18. And the answer is 1845. So now it says, so all the ingredients cost $18.45. This is the cost. Now it says, let's see how much we made, how much money we made. We sold 98 biscuits. We made 98 biscuits. We sold for 25 each. So 98 biscuits, each one was 25 cents. So 98 times 25 cents. So let's do that. 98. Or we can do 25 times 98, doesn't matter which one is which. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 9 is 45. 45 plus 4 is 49. And then we got a magical 0. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 plus 1 is 19. And you add them up. 0, this will be 15, this will be 14, this will be 2. So therefore, you're going to have, this will be cents. Because this is 25 cents, so the answer must be in cents. Now, we want to change the cents into dollars because this one is cents and this one's in dollars. So what we do is we just change this one to dollar. And to change cents to dollars, just divide it by 100. Because $1 has 100 cents. So divide by 100, here's a decimal place. Let's move it back 1, 2, and you're going to get $24.50. All right. So it says the profit we made was what? So the cost was $18.45. The we sold it for let's see, how much was it again? $24.50. Now to find the profit, you must take the amount sold, subtract by the amount that cost, how much it costed you. So you take $24.50, subtract $18.45. Now you can work it out yourself and get the answer. It's got to be one of the multiple choice there. All right, I'm going to move on. Let you do that yourself. All right. Now, next one says a ship is sailing on a bearing of southeast. So southeast is this way. From the middle, you go that way. Okay, so that means a ship is going something like in this direction. It changes direction and sails on a direction of northeast. So now it goes northeast, which is this way. So now after it went from A to, let's say, to B, it went in this direction. Now it changed and goes northeast, which is this direction, because that's northeast, right? It says, through what angle did it turn? So imagine it's facing this way, it's facing this way. So what angle did it turn? It turned 90 degrees. Done. A chemist knows that 1 milliliter of a substance weighs 6 grams. What would 1 liter of a substance weigh? So let's see, so you got 1 milliliter. 1 milliliter is going to weigh you 6 grams. So 1 liter. 1 liter is 1,000 milliliter. Oh, let me just rewrite that one. Now the question is, how many grams would that weigh? Well, from 1 milliliter to 1,000, we have to times it by 1,000. And then what do we do to this side? Obviously, we have to times it by 1,000 because you have 1,000 times more amount, which means it's going to weigh 1,000 times heavier. So 1,000 times 6 grams is 6,000 grams. 6,000 grams is how many kilograms? Well, 6,000 grams is how many kilograms? Can you work it out? 4 students each were given a block of ice. They had to measure and record the weight every 10 minutes as their block melted. Which result are the only ones which could have been recorded correctly? Well, let's have a look. If you measure, let's look at, for example, this question, this D. So all we do is check it. Okay, for a block of ice to melt, the weight will get less and less. It will get lighter and lighter as it evaporates and stuff like that. So here you got 5.23. Then it went up 5.23 and 5.40. This is going up. So how can the weight go up? The weight can only go down as it melts, right? So this is already wrong. So let's have a look at this one. 7.3 to 7.03. Yes, that's good. It went down. But then it went back up again. You might be thinking, hey, 7.03 is bigger than 7.1. No, it's not. This is 7.10. You can see 7.03 and 7.10. Which one's bigger? Obviously, this is bigger, right? So it went up again. You cannot go up. None of these should go up. So if they go up, that means that there's a mistake. It says which one has been recorded correctly. So there's only these two. You can figure it out yourself. The rectangle in the diagram shows 16 long and 6 wide. The area of the shaded portion is... Now, let's look at the part A here and part B. Part A, the shaded part is a half of the whole entire thing, right? So shade equals to a half for part A. What about B? B is also a half. So that means the black piece is a half of the entire thing if you combine them together. So it says the area of the shaded region. How do you work it out? So well, let's find the area of this rectangle first. You got 6 and you got 16. 6 times 16 will give you 96, and half of them will be shaded and the other half will be unshaded. Oops. Unshaded. So what's a half of 96? So you work it out. So only half of it is shaded and the other half is unshaded. So if you want to find the shaded portion, just find a half of 96 and work out the answer there. All the diagonals of a pentagon. So let's draw a pentagon. I'm not very good at this, but try my best. All the diagonals, how many diagonals do we have? I'll draw diagonals in blue. So here's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Oh, is that it? Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagonals. There are 5 diagonals. How many sides does it have? It has 5 sides. It says all the diagonals of the pentagon are drawn. Okay. What fraction of the total number of sides and diagonals? So you see the word of here. Let me just show you something. And then, oh, let me just do it again. And then the word is here. Is the number of diagonals. Okay. So one thing to understand in mathematics is the word of and is. When you ask to find out the fraction of something and you have of and is, you have to understand that the is goes on top and of goes to the bottom. That's the easy way to remember. So it says is. Is what? Is the number of diagonals. What's the number of diagonals? We got 5. So therefore, 5 goes to the top because that's the number of diagonals. Of the total number of sides and diagonals. Number of sides and diagonals, that means 5 plus 5. So that equals to 5 over 10. So the fraction is 5 on 10. Can you find out which of these is the same as 5 on 10? The following fractions are in order from smallest to largest. One of the fraction is missing. So you have to find the pattern and find out what the missing fraction in there is. Now they all look very weird. Okay, they don't look like they have a pattern. So what we got to do is we have to make the bottom number the same and see if there's a pattern. So what can we make it into? We can make them all into 20 because the lowest common multiple of all of these is 20. So we can say this one will be 20, 20, 20 something, and then this will be 20 and then 20. Actually, let me just do that again real quick. 20, 20, 20. All right, top number. Now, this one is the missing number. Okay, so let's have a look. So to turn the first number to 20, we must times it by 4. Times it by 4, you get 8. Then you get 9. That's already over 20. Now for the third one, you must times it by 10 and times it by 10, so you get 10. And then let's look at the last one. The last one's already 13 on 20. Now this one, for the second last one, to make 20, I must times it by 4, times it by 4, and 3 times 4 is 12. And obviously you can see the pattern. 9 on 20, sorry, 8 on 20, 9 on 20, 10 on 20, 11 on 20, 12 on 20, 30 on 20. So obviously this must be 11 on 20. All right, last page. It says, what do you get if you add the smallest 3-digit number to the largest 4-digit number? What's the smallest 3-digit number? It'll be 100. And the largest 4-digit number is 9999. This will be 99. This will be a 10, which is a 0. And this will be another 10. So that will be the answer. This one. Lee always confused adding and subtracting. When the teacher says to add, he subtracts. And when the teacher says subtract, he adds. When the teacher asks Lee to subtract 144 from a given number, so let's write that out first. So we have a given number. And Lee was told to subtract 144 from this number. Lee wrote down his answer of 377. So Lee does things backwards according to the question, right? So if the teacher told him to subtract 144, what he must have done was he must have taken the number and added 144, and then he wrote down 377, which is incorrect, but because he did it backwards. All right, so what we do? So we need to figure out the given number first before we can actually get... Now the question asks you to find... It says the correct answer must have been what? So the correct answer is this one over here. Actually, I put it in blue. The correct answer is this one here, the one in blue. Now we need to find this correct answer. To find the correct answer, we must know what the given amount is. To find the given amount, we must work backwards from Lee's calculation. So Lee has, so something plus 144 is 377. So to get that number, we take 377, subtract 144. This will be, yes, correct, yeah. Okay, so this will be 3, 3, 2. So this number must have been 2, 3, 3, which means that this is 2, 3, 3 as well. Now you can use this to calculate the correct answer. You can work it out yourself, okay? So do this calculation, get the correct answer, and then circle the answer there. Next one, it says it takes 6 men. So here we got another men's and days questions again. You got 6 men, takes 9 days. How many days would it take to paint the same house with just 2 men? Okay, so now you want 2 men. So from 6 to 2, what do? We divide it by 3. What do we do to the other side? Do we divide by 3? No, because this is men and days question. This is different. Okay, if you have less men, it's gonna take you longer, right? Not shorter. So you have to times it by 3 instead. This will be 27, and the answer is there. The average of 8 numbers is 4. So imagine you had 8 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What do we do to these 8 numbers? It says the average of the 8 numbers. All right, so to find the average, we must find the totals. We add them all up to get the total. And then we have to divide it by how many numbers there are. So there are 8 numbers, we divide by 8. And it says the average of the 8 numbers is 4, meaning that it's equal to 4. All right, so before we continue with anything, when we see this kind of setup, we should find the total. So the total here. So when these 8 numbers add together, they're going to give you one big number. It's going to give you a big number. So this is the big number. And then we divide the big number by 8 and you get 4. So what's the big number amount? What's the total? So to find a total, we just multiply it's 4 and 8 and we get 32. So this must be 32. And you can actually check it. You can say, all right, let's have, oops. You can just have a look here. Okay, you can check it by saying that the total is 32. Okay, is 32 divided by 8 4? Yes. That means that all of these numbers must add up to 32. Because 32 divided by 8 is indeed 4. Now it says, if a new number 13 is added, what is the new average? Okay, so now imagine there's these 8 numbers. Let me just select this. Duplicate it and then bring it down here. Imagine there's 8 numbers. Okay. So now we have a 9th number. We don't know what the... actually, what's it asking for? What is the new average? Oh, the 9th number is given to us as 13. Now, imagine we have 9 numbers, and they say, what's the average of these 9 numbers? So how do you find the average of 9 numbers? We have to add them up. Oh. We have to add them up. And so add all of them up and divide it by 9 because there's 9 numbers now. It says, what's the new average when there's 9 numbers? Well, we know that to find the average of the number, we have to add them all up, find a total. So, how do we find a total? We know that the first 8 numbers add to 32. We found it out from here. The first 8 numbers add to 32. And the 9th number is 13. So what's the total of the top number? We need to find the total of the top part here. So you have 32 plus 13 over 9. And you can work it out. So yeah, you can work that out yourself and get the answer there. Okay. I'm going to move this. Oh, yeah, alright. Alright, next one. It says, what time will it be 170 minutes after 3:12? So 170 minutes. Let's have a look. 170 minutes. Let's chop it up into blocks of 60 because we know that's one hour. Oops, 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So let's chop it up into blocks of 60. So you got 60 plus 60 plus what? 50, right? And that'll give you 170. So you got, so that means that 170 minutes is actually 1 hour, 1 hour and 50 minutes. So therefore it's 2 hours and 50 minutes. So it said, so really it's asking you what's 2 hours and 50 minutes after this one. So let's have a look. You got 3:12. Okay, let's add the 2 hours first. And that'll give you 5:12. Now add another 50 minutes. So you just added 2 hours and 50 minutes altogether, and you want to see what time. Can you work it out yourself? I'll leave that to you. And I think that's, is it the last one? Oh, it is. Wait, yeah, really? Oh, okay. Yep, that's the last page, so I hope that helps.